And now the leaves are starting to reemerge. Hit enough rain.
No, I was impressed. attempts
to
that
do
come in.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's a nice benefit, but 6 weeks is, it's kind of almost too much because when you look at the paid holidays,
6 weeks paid plus paid sick days.
I like the seniors. I think a lot of people use those sick days.
They give me cookies at their meetings.
Twice.
Cookies and coffee.
Yeah, and you can carry over so many.
All my excitement.
Yeah. Like when I say I use them all, that means my bank is at the max hours all the time. For 35 days.
Experience it too much.
In 2 weeks,
I've been going to these township meetings. These people come here
if they can't overlap.
because nobody's doing anything. Right?
You guys ready? We're going to call the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Commissioner McConnell. Here. Commissioner Baldwin.
Here.
Commissioner Beeden.
Present.
Commissioner Dunn.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Vandenbosch.
Here.
Chairman Ball.
Here. Additions, deletions, changes to the agenda, seeing none. How about approval of the agenda? Have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Item 5, minutes of previous meetings, A and B.
I make a motion to approve and file the minutes of the June 17th, 2021 commission meeting and the July 1st, 2020 standing committee meetings.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No proclamations, consent agendas, items A through L.
Mr. Chair, can I make a motion to approve the items 7A through 7L on the consent agenda?
Support.
Discussion on any of these items? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Reports of standing and special committees. I'm going to start with Commissioner Vandenbosch.
We're getting ready to move forward with the marina and go speak in front of the DNR Trust Fund. And that's beginning of next month, was it, Jeff?
August 18th.
August
We actually
18th,
got to
see.
go over to Lansing to pitch that deal.
See what we can do to help it through. And then We had a wonderful pickerel tournament down in Algonac this year. The Knights did a great job. They feel it may be one of their biggest ever. Huge attendance, and I have watched fireworks down there and went up to St. Clair's on Sunday, and that town was packed. Unbelievably full. For biggest I've ever seen down there.
People I've ever seen in St. Clair in my life, and I've been here for 50 years. It's a lot of people.
And that's all I got.
Okay. David?
Just one thing, Riley Township has appointed a new clerk to serve until the interim election, Dawn Beam. She's worked with Dave Struck, I saw him here, I believe. But she is one of the most qualified people that I've known in 17 years being in elected office, so good for Riley.
Good. Dukester?
No, sir.
Greg?
You know, I was just telling George, I've been to a few different meetings, and every meeting I go to at the township levels, everybody's struggling with this marijuana issues and people coming in, you know, for electrical permits and can't get their 400 amp services. And I don't know, it's just, everybody seems to be grasping at straws on what they can do, can't do. And I came in mid-meeting yesterday after I was done with golf in Muzzy Township, and some guy about run me over, and he had just left and was mad about his $21,000 bill that he paid Detroit Edison to bring power in, and now they can't hook it up. And Edison said, we did what we told you we'd do, and that's why we charged you $21,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a dilemma that everybody's having, so.
Georgia?
I got anything?
Lisa?
Nothing tonight.
Just one thing I was telling you guys earlier, they had new owners of Eddy Elementary hearing. They actually opened that property up today. Probably had 400 people walk through there. About 98% of the stuff. I said I went back later in the day. It's kind of neat. I saw a young couple with their family, and the kid was maybe 4 years old, and they were getting a school desk and chair. You could tell they were going to take it home and stuff. So kudos to the Vinkiers for doing that. They had about 100 people standing in line this morning, and it just was people everywhere. So it was very good. It was a win-win-win for everybody. No unfinished business.
Jeff, one
Oh,
more
I'm sorry.
quick item if we could. When are we gonna have some type of a work session or something for our COVID fund monies? Is this something, because I'm starting to get questions about a lot of these townships, right? I mean, infrastructure, if you're spending on water and sewer and they don't have any water or sewer in their townships, then, you know, the other infrastructure part is gonna be doing something with some fiber optic. And everybody I've talked to is saying, we don't think we're big enough to do anything. We have a small pot of money, but if everybody pooled some money, maybe we could get a little more bang for our buck. So they're just looking for a little direction.
I think, Carrie, are you comfortable if we did something next month, so like a workshop up to speak on that? Just because originally it was the understanding what you can and what you can't spend your monies on, right? There was some of that. The other part that was always in the back of my mind is there's so much money that's going into different allocations, right? So let's say you want to support something, and I see Dr. Mercantile here, I'll just say health department something, right? But if there's other pots of monies that are coming in that would be able to backfill those types of things, I don't know if that is actually, well, we will probably know sooner than later in the budget, because I was actually with Kevin Herritt today, and we were talking about the earmarks in the budget, assuming if they can pass a budget that looks pretty good for the particular earmarks that we had submitted for would get passed. But if they don't pass the budget, then they just pass the supplemental budget, so then it's a dead deal, right? So I think we can have some conversation, but I think we're gonna have to really wait to see what comes down at a federal level to us. Good thing is we have time. It is a lot of money. We've got to be strategic about it. I hear your point. Some of these things, you know, $300,000 or $400,000 to a township.
Yeah.
Get you some one-time fixes. Maybe doesn't do anything
Sure.
long-term necessarily structurally.
And I don't know how we format it, right? I mean, we're gonna have to have a public meeting. Do we invite what team players, you know, to try to do things or whatever? And I don't know when the time is. Maybe it's gonna be September or, you know, get a little bit, September's not very far away all of a
Well, I
sudden.
think we could even do something on let's do something on our August agenda, just to have all the commissioners talk about it, what everybody thinks, best steps moving forward, and just kind of, because we really haven't talked about it in a, public format as of yet. David?
Township, I'm working with Don Beam, our new clerk, and the paperwork has to be submitted to the state for townships by August, or this 28th of July. So they gotta have their ducks in a row by then, have the request put in by then. And then after that, they'll get the guidelines, clearer guidelines on what they can actually use the funds for. Riley Township's currently looking at $71,000 potentially for a culvert, and if they can use it for potentially payroll or other things that are directly affected by the COVID, they can actually move budget line items in their budget over. So hopefully they can use the entire amount that's allocated to Riley. Most townships are gonna be fairly similar. With the charter townships, they're gonna get a much bigger chunk, but of course they got much bigger expenses. They could probably a fire engine potentially. I don't know, but they gotta have it by the 28th, and then they'll get clearer guidelines from the state.
I'll get with Carrie and we'll get something on the agenda
Okay.
for August.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move into new business. For those of you that have,
Citizens.
oh, I'm sorry, Ted, I'll butcher your last name, Andrzejewski. Yes, come on up to the podium, please. 2455 Clinton, Gypsy Moss.
Yeah, I just wanted to raise a red flag on the gypsy moths. I know it's not a real bad problem in the county. When you drive through, there's pockets where you can see them starting to chew up the trees and that. I know I've probably killed thousands of them in my property. They're going to get worse every year. I remember back 15, 16 years ago when they had the last gypsy moth thing, and there was a lot of trees that were just barren. They actually sprayed the county. And I've heard that Macomb County just sprayed this year. Like I say, it'll get worse every year. So I just, I think it'd be something that you ought to be thinking about watching it anyways. I don't know if you spray next, you can only spray in the spring.
So Ted, normally we don't address the public, but I will. I have probably had 50 phone calls on gypsy moths. I didn't know what a gypsy
Oh, did you?
I didn't know what a gypsy moth.
Yeah,
was.
I remember seeing that in the
They
paper.
happened to
You didn't
pass my
even.
phone number out, so I was
Yeah.
a direct point of contact.
I called the county and somebody at the county was saying that she goes out every day, every night and is, scraping them off.
George has been working on the issue. So we're working with MSU Extension. We're working with Friends of the St. Clair River. They popped up this year. I mean, literally, they were not, it's bad. I know we talked with Macomb County, the person that administers their program, so we're trying to get, next steps moving forward and stuff. And Georgia is my czar, so.
I know 15 years ago it was really bad. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but they did aerial spraying and it was terrible.
So if I could get your contact information, what we're working on now is it's basically a Google Doc or a Google form to get all of the information. We're trying to identify the areas where maybe gypsy moths weren't last year or where it's a bad infestation, because moving forward then we'll map all of the addresses that we're able to get.
Okay.
And then when we do that, we'll identify hot spots, and then so you take those hot spots, you go out a little farther, then you look for the nests. And when you stop seeing nests, then you've identified where your areas are worse. That will help determine where we can spray next year. So all of that process will start probably September to November. So I can give you my card, or if you've got contact information, because right now I'm just
Are
asking.
you on the county website as far as having an email address
am.
there? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll send you my information and
Okay.
actually my neighbors too.
Yeah, and any photos that you have is really helpful too.
Okay.
I've probably received 100 emails from all over the county.
Yeah.
So the photos are really helpful to people who know way more about them than I do.
They're terrible. Wait till they start getting into the, your parks and all that and
And
recreation
they are there.
areas,
So
it's
right now
gonna be
they should
terrible.
be in the cocoon phase. So you should stop seeing the caterpillars and
Yeah.
you'll start seeing the brown moths. The white moths are the females. They don't really fly. The brown ones do.
Right,
But a nest kind of looks like a tan colored
right.
piece of hair.
I'm already going after those,
Yeah, and they have,
between
but
now and the spring.
But let us know where they are, so
Oh,
that we know where,
okay.
right, because we don't, I mean, it's great if you're getting rid of them properly, you can't just knock them on the ground, you have to
Right,
kill
right,
them with
right.
fire and water and.
Yeah, I've been
but-
on the MSU extension. I got all their
Okay,
printouts
okay.
and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we'd really like to be able to track where they are, especially if it's a large infestation. And with all this rain that we've gotten, a lot of the trees, the defoliation should probably start to come back, so those
Right.
trees will fare pretty well over the winter unless they've already diseased.
But it could be bad next year.
Very much.
So, okay, well, thank you. I just wanted to raise the red flag.
So we're gonna get into new business. If any of you have not seen commissioners meeting before, these actually items come before us in full committee. They get passed on to full board, so if it seems like we go through them fairly quick, it's because they've already been items that have been discussed previously. 11A, approval of county disbursements.
This time I'd like to move to approve the June 2021 county disbursements in the amount of $10,142,469.73.
Support. Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item B, the Parks and Recreation appointment.
Mr. Chairman, I have moved to appoint Mary Clark to the Parks and Recreation Commission, representing District 3 for the remainder of a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2023.
Support?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Item C, the resolution 21-14.
I would move to adopt resolution 21-14 authorizing 2022 general obligation limited tax refunding bonds.
Support.
Discussion.
Questions?
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Item D, resolution 21-13.
This time I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 21-13 approving the Area Agency on Aging 1B fiscal year 2022 annual implementation plan.
Support.
So while we're on that, Miss Beeden is getting voted off the island. She
Always one
sits-
troublemaker.
She sits on some other boards that I gotta call the conflict of interest, they said, or whatever, but you can't sit on a council on aging, you can't sit on that. So Lisa's gonna have to be taken off that, we're gonna have to find somebody to fill her spot. It's not a bad kick you off, okay?
No, I'm 100% okay with it.
Yeah. So we'll have
Don't
to
say
find-
that while they're trying to get somebody.
We'll
to
have
take your
somebody,
spot.
find somebody to serve on that.
Say you hate to give that spot up.
Yeah,
It was a tough decision, but
There you go.
here we are.
so, implementation plan, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Item E, the agreement for law enforcement services.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the agreement for law enforcement services with Memphis Community Schools for a term of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023, in the total amount of $146,935.26.
Support.
Discussion,
Just a little.
yes.
Really appreciate it. Brought it up at our township meeting in Riley that there's going to be have an extra deputy sheriff from my area. And of course, the high school is on the Macomb County. Already talked with, I didn't, of course, but with the sheriff over there, they're all in support of it. And then, of course, the elementary schools in the St. Clair County side. So it's going to be a real nice plus for Riley Township and all the residents and kids that go to those schools.
Good. Roll call.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item F, the 2021 Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistance Grant.
I would move to approve the fiscal year 2021 Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program application in the amount of $17,093.
Support.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Item G, professional services contract.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the award of a contract for professional services for preliminary engineering and design for the North Channel property in Clay Township to the Smith Group in the amount of $118,790.
Support.
Roll call.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item H, the proposed grant writer position.
I make a motion to approve the addition of a casual part-time grant writer position to the Parks and Recreation Committee at an hourly rate of $60 an hour with the total annual amount not to exceed $40,000.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Rushing.
No.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
No.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Resolution, item I, resolution 21-12.
This time I'd like to move to adopt resolution 21-12, approving the airport sponsor contract for the reconstruction of taxiway lighting, taxiway B, in the amount of $636,003.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item J, the St. Clair County Economic Development Loan Program.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the loan assistance application, loan agreement, mortgage and assignment of rents and secured promissory note for the redevelopment of the Eddie and Gearing Elementary Schools in St. Clair with Eddie Development LLC.
Support.
Thanks.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Abstain?
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item K, the early closure request.
I would move to approve the request to close the downtown campus offices at 2:30 PM on July 21st, 2021.
Support, but can I ask a question about this?
Surely.
Can we set that when we set our hours each time, if it's always a Rotary Day, right? I mean, do we have to look at it individually like that, or is it something we can set annually when we set days and holidays?
So we can set it annually. I know the city has been a little different each year on when they decide to close down the streets. Some years they don't close the streets till 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
The last couple times they've closed it at 3. And one year, basically all of our employees were landlocked and couldn't get out of there till after the parade. So, it is kind of dependent on the city's schedule. We can certainly just make that an early closure day.
Right, and like 2:30 should always be safe to get people out, but.
Yep, the last several years, I've contacted the city and they did let me know that they close the roads down at 3 o'clock or block them off.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item L, the friend of court reclassification request.
I make a motion to approve the request to reclassify an early intervention coordinator to a mediator early intervention coordinator for the friend of the court.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item M, the sheriff's office manning table.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request to add a full-time deputy sheriff to the sheriff office manning table.
Support?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item N, the health department laboratory renovation request.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the purchase and install of the furniture and cabinets from Kerr Albert in the amount of $48,317 for the Health Department laboratory renovation.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Beeden.
Yes.
Commissioner McConnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch.
No.
Commissioner Baldwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes. Item O, the 21 County Veteran Service Fund.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the fiscal year 21 County Veterans Service Fund grant agreement amendment.
Support?
No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item P.
This time I move to approve the assignment and assumption of the ground lease for Lot 22 of the Air Industrial Park from Grochman Building to MGD Land LLC.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Administrators report.
First, I want to thank the board for approving the resolution allowing us to go ahead with the refunding of the convention center bonds. That will be the 7th refunding we've done in the past 10 years, bringing our savings to just under $4.7 million. So,
On all projects.
on all projects, yes. No, this one we're anticipating 1.2 million in savings.
Sorry, how much?
1.2 million in interest savings. Your first legislative lunch is scheduled for August 16th. I know Lydia did send out an email, but I do want to make sure that's on everyone's calendar since we haven't had them for the past year and a half. So if you have topics, if you want to, please start sending them to administration so we can start working on the agenda, but all our legislators have been notified of the schedule as well. Earlier this week, the county hosted a FOIA training through MMRMA for our departments. It's been some time since we've had in-house trainings and we've had a lot of staff turnover. It was very well received, very well attended. We had over 40 participants there, so it was very good training. The Marine City Corridor Study RFP is complete and it should be posted tomorrow. That will go out for about 30 days. Then it will be reviewed by the committee, and it is the hope that a recommendation and a contract will come back to this board in October.
For, what was that? again?
For the Marine City Highway Corridor Study for the water sewer infrastructure. The library is applying for some American Rescue Plan Act funds. There was part of the act that had a separate pot of funding specific for libraries, and that is getting filtered through the Library of Michigan. Our library did receive notice on Monday of that they can apply and how to do it, and the application was due today. So it has been submitted, but it will come before you next month. But it is, the library will be asking to use it for solar-powered charging and Wi-Fi hotspot picnic tables and benches to be used around the different library properties. I will have Allison here next month, though, to answer further questions on that. And nope, we already talked about our vacancy on AAA1D, so that's all I have for this evening.
Okay, I have a motion to file the administrator's report.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Miscellaneous business. Any miscellaneous business to come before us?
Just, I did have 3 different townships with the new parks person that's going to be able to help with some grant writing. They're pretty excited about the fact that they're going to be able to have some help.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any, it costs them so much money to go in and do it, so they're looking forward to it right now. They've been getting visited by our new park manager.
Yeah, she's
So-
been doing the circuit, yeah.
Yeah, she's doing the circuit, so, yeah, I'm looking forward. I think it's a great idea. It's a great way to get bang for our money.
Any other miscellaneous business? Receive and file.
Move to receive and file packets that were sent to commissioners, packets at their places, and any other information presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Carry the